I'm sorry, I have a hard time hearing, and it's due to airplanes. But yeah, after the war, we came back to Muskegon. I went to work for Continental Motors in aircraft experimental. However, I got laid off in 1948, and I had to find another job. I had 2 kids, and we had to find something to make some money coming in. And I didn't know what to do, and I was out crossed over North Muskegon. A friend of mine had 16 horses. And you know what horses make? Well, at that time, we didn't have commercial fertilizer. Okay. And anybody that could get horse manure, it was quite a thing. So anyway, I made a deal with the guy. He had a truck, and I says, if I can have your truck and your horse manure, I'll take it into town and sell it. And I took one load into my dad's place, and all the neighbors said, where are you getting that? So I was selling horse manure.
Good for you.
But some say I'm still peddling it, but you might, the funny thing happened. A man from Metropolitan Life came up and wanted to know where I was, and Alma didn't want to tell him I was out peddling horse manure. And she says, well, would he be interested in a job with Metropolitan Life? And she says, I'll tell him. Well, the next morning I went down and had an interview and got hired with Metropolitan Life as an agent. And I met Harold Cuckoo down there, which is I'm having a senior moment right now. At any rate, I sold life insurance for about 3 years, and I kept being drawn back to the airport for some reason or other. It just seemed like it was a big magnetic force. And I was out there, and a fellow from Lansing named Francis Aviation, and I got to talking to him, and he says, what do you do? And I says, well, I sell life insurance and part-time, then I'm flying with the Air Guard part-time. He says, I want you to come sell airplanes for me. So I did go over to Lansing, and we moved over there, and I sold airplanes for 3 years, and like I told you before, we had, Alma suggested that we have our own business, and that's why we opened up Executive Air here in Muskegon. But I sold airplanes to people like Westran, New Way Equipment Company, Howmet Corporation, Ott Chemical, and I hired the crews to man these airplanes, and we totally managed this for them. And that worked out pretty good, but I was doing a lot of flying myself, and it was very difficult to try to run a business when you're not there. But I did find out where I could sell this thing to this guy from Grand Rapids, like I told you before. And I then flew for Howmet Corporation for 25 years. So I felt very, very lucky. After 43 years of flying, I didn't give anybody a bloody nose, so I felt pretty good about that. Well, flying has been my life. As I said before, I enjoyed it, and it was very rewarding financially and otherwise.
Well, both you gentlemen have led very exciting lives, some more than others perhaps, and I'm glad you were in the war and not me, or we would have had a bad time.
You know, just one thing, Mary, this is your show, but I think that Frank ought to tell us what he's got this shirt on, what these are.
Oh, this is what you call a summer uniform for Army personnel. And it's a suntan, and you are allowed to wear a suntan wool tie. And this mark on my sleeve means that I was served for 3 years or more in the service. The patch on my shoulder indicates I was in the 11th Armored Division, and it's called the Thunderbolt Division. And then the T4 means I was a technician 4th grade, which is equivalent in pay to a sergeant. And the medal here is for a marksman qualification with a carbine. I have a sharpshooter's qualification with a M1, and it's in a shadow box at my house. And the ribbons here, this is a good conduct medal, this is a victory medal, and occupation medal, and this one here on the far left is a European theater ribbon, and it has 3 battle stars, which means that I was in the Battle of the Ardennes, of the Rhineland area, and Eastern Europe. So when I finished my service in when the war ended in Europe, I was in Gallnukirchen, Austria, and I was on the radio about 11 o'clock that morning. I had a new shift, and I copied the news of the armistice in the clear. The first time we didn't send coded messages in all the combat. So that was a nice thing. So I guess that's about it. I also have what they call the ruptured duck, which is a little eagle on a circle indicating you were discharged from the service properly. You can wear it.
Well, that's
You
always
like that?
good to know that you were properly disposed of.
Also, a lot of other services wore suntans too, Air Force and other people. So that's about it.
Well, I think that we have gotten a pretty good idea from both you gentlemen
Well, thank
where
you.
you were, what you did, and how you came back.
Right.
And the best part is that you did come back.
Right.
And you're back in Michigan. And what more can you ask for right now?
Can't ask for more.
Yeah. Are there any questions? I see everybody looking around and asking the other guy if you got a question. But, the most important thing is that you've told us where you were, what you did, and I'm sure we didn't hear even half of what you did. But what you have told gives us something that occurred over quite a span of years. How many years were you actually in service?
3 years and 3 months.
And you
The thing I remember is that I was very lucky because a lot of my peers died, and by luck of the draw, I was behind the lines and didn't get shot at and didn't have to shoot enemies. So I did shoot at a sniper one time who shot holes through the canvas of the half-track where my head had been about 2 minutes before. But I fired at him. I don't know if I hit him because he was hiding in the woods someplace. The war is almost over and made you very angry that you knew it was going to end and you didn't want to wind up as a casualty. But the most important thing was that I didn't have the stress 24/7 that the infantrymen and the tankers had. I didn't have the direct contact with the enemy. So I was very fortunate. It all came about because of my ability, musical ability, and could learn code.
Well, in any army
What?
or in any military, there are umpteen different jobs, and no two are alike. And
Right.
everyone is very, very important to us, regardless of what it is. And I thank you very much for coming in today to let us know about your experiences. And when we're done here, maybe some of the people would like to see some of the mementos that you have on a table over in the corner.
Okay.
And Vince, did you bring any examples of things?
I haven't got anything, just me.
Well, then we'll let you talk to the people.
Really appreciate you inviting us to do this today.
Yes.
Well,
And it's very nice of you to
our
do that.
veterans are very dear to us, and we honor you.
Well,
That's why you're here today.
we appreciate that very much.
And I know that you live in this beautiful place. How long have you been here?
I came 15th of November. I'm
Oh,
still
you're
a newcomer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how long have you been here, Frank?
I've been here about 4 months and I enjoy it, and
Well,
I like the friendly people here, and I wish I could remember more names.
don't bother, just ask who are you or which one are
I
you.
just
That'll
say
do.
hi. I just say hi. How you doing today? You know, they ask me how I'm doing. I say I'm doing great, but I can't make exceptional. So
Which is perfect. But we appreciate the fact that the Village at Park Terrace would let us put this on the air, because we think it's very important that our veterans are not forgotten. And I won't forget the last name, Mr. Scott, I promise.
Okay.
Okay? And,
no demerits for you today.
okay. So, we thank you for listening to us, and from the Village at Park Terrace, and these two gentlemen, Vincent Dossert and Frank Scott,
Yes, ma'am.
and myself, Mary. And this is a thank you from Young at Heart.